In this class of business environment and ethical practices, we'll be talking about event changes. Risk is inevitable in business, so is change. Even if the change is positive, it is bound to happen. Any company operating in any industry, any geographical territory, any country will have to face changes. This is something which nobody has control upon. So the best deal for any company is to understand the possible changes up to the best extent and make itself ready to deal with that, to adapt the change. We have seen in the past that so many companies which were ruling the world failed because they were unable to adapt the change. Take example of Air India, Nokia, Motorola, Yahoo, and number of examples are there. And these all companies failed to see what was happening around them, what all changes were taking place, and even if they were able to see, they could not adapt the change in the best possible manner. And as a result, they were thrown out of the industry. So, in order to avoid that, every organization must have a good command or a good understanding of the business environment which it is operating in, and it must have a good understanding of what all changes are taking place so that it can adapt itself to the changes and can uh, survive and grow in long term. In a business environment, change may not always be welcomed, but it is expected. Changes in the business environment happen all the time. The economy fluctuates up or down on a daily basis, frequently causing businesses to alter the way they operate. New competitors enter the marketplace while others leave, which is a normal process. Ever shifting weather patterns and natural disasters can force a change in the business environment, like what is happening recently due to COVID-19. Lot many business have been disruptive, and other things that can also change the business environment are political events, wars, and the adoption or rejection of laws and rules. Advanced technologies, products, and innovation lead to change in a business environment, as can population shifts. Like good example of technologies would be usage of internet in Indian subcontinent, or the introduction and growth of live web, web streaming services. Businesses also are forced to change internally when a key employee leaves, gets sick, or dies. Or at times, it may also lead to changing the organizational structure. So ultimately, the main point is something or the other will be happening outside and within the organization, which will change the course of action. And the organization must understand these changes and should adapt to it in a good manner. The business environment your company or any company moves through is made up of internal and external elements. And somehow or the other, these elements, these factors, these constituents will face change, will witness change. Any of these factors can change in an instant. New laws like may change what materials you use in your product. A product that's popular and hip can go out of style overnight. Your most knowledgeable, capable employee can quit because they are underpaid, or a new investor may demand a higher rate of return. So anything can happen. The sky is the limit here, and everything is uncertain. No matter whether change is abrupt or evolves over a period of time, business owners and leaders must revisit their company's strategic plans on a regular basis. Critical to business success, strategic planning involves vision and mission, and knowing how and when a business should adapt to change. Strategic planning is the blueprint of where a business is now and the action plan of where it is heading. And it is the approach which an organization adopts to eventually achieve its vision. Understanding the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, also not known as SWOT analysis of a business, can help determine a company's goals and the strategies necessary to achieve those goals. So the basic idea is the organization must look inside and outside and should trace what all factors matter to the organization and how these factors are all being altered over the period of time, and whatever changes are to be done in the strategy of the organization, they must be done as early as possible. Certain suggested measures to deal with change or to reduce the degree of risk or the potential harm which the company might have to bear with. There are certain things that an organization must do. First is embracing the technology. There is no point living under a rock. Technologies, new technologies in all the spheres of business are coming up. Consumers are more aware about technologies, and technologies can be seen in production, logistics, distribution, sales, in every business function. So, although adopting a technology can be sometimes a difficult choice for any organization, especially for small business units, but again, a reasonable level of technological adapt adaptation should be maintained, because if any organization refrains from adopting new technology, it may lag behind. Second, increasing the speed. Something which is relevant today might not be relevant tomorrow. So, any business function or any operation that a company is looking up to should have that much of impact that it can create value for the business, and this value has to be created in a short span of time. If a company is formulating strategies 5 years, like after 5 years what it'll be doing, it might not be relevant after 5 years at all. Great opportunities come to the organization that can respond quickly. Customers value speed in providing services and delivering orders, and are sometimes willing to pay extra for a quick response. Employees who are fast and flexible generally reduce cost by minimizing their expended time on the project. So the basic idea is to respond quickly, to learn quick, and to make the necessary changes as fast as possible. Third is learn to live without ambiguity and uncertainty. My bad. Learn to live with ambiguity and uncertainty. Most people don't like ambiguity or uncertainty, and in fact, when we study the fundamental principles of management, it always talks about clarity of thoughts, division of work, and number of principles are there. But if we look at the business world practically, there ambiguity will always prevail there, and uncertainty will always be there. Hardly matters how good you are with your planning, your strategic planning, this element of uncertainty will always be there. So the basic idea is to learn to live with these things, because if as an organization you are in habit of living like that, it will be easy for you to face the changes. If you have like safeguarded yourself and you want everything to be black and white, at times it may be a problematic condition for the organization. Then act like an entrepreneur. Some fundamental traits of entrepreneurs are their risk appetite is good, they are ready to take responsibility, they think beyond the box or outside the box, they have that never say die attitude, they are always open up for new things, they are always willing to learn. And if these all traits can be found in like in systematic organizations as well, big organizations as well, it can make the deal much better. Next is adding value to the organization. The organization should always be able to make a profit on your work. If you add value, you bring in a return on your work that is higher than your cost to the organization, then ultimately organization will benefit out of it, and it will be beneficial for you also as an individual. If we look at the perspective, if the organization's perspective, the idea is whatever an organization is doing, it must be able to make money out of it, because nothing is happening for free. Then keeping your niche. As a service provider or as a even a manufacturer, your job is to provide or produce goods and services to customers, whether internal or external. And you should be able to create your own niche, a particular domain wherein you are so good that you can compete with anyone. And you should not be becoming a me too brand. So the basic idea is you are supposed to maintain your unique identity in the market, which can give you a very valuable distinction. As an individual, you should be a fixer, not a blamer. As a manager, it is your responsibility to make sure if anything goes wrong, you are supposed to make it right, rather than playing that blame game. The basic idea is to look at what possibly could be done to reduce the losses, if any, to the lowest possible level, and how the situation can be revived again. Most problems are due to common causes, meaning no one person or event can be identified as the cause, since all the departments, people are very much interrelated, interconnected with each other. At most of the times, you can't find out, or you can't allocate who in particular is responsible for any fault. So even if that is happening, the entire process should be looked upon, and necessary changes must be done. And don't treat these problems as though they were an identifiable cause which gets in the way of solving them. So the main idea behind all these specific measures is rather than looking at organization as a very strict frame, adaptability, the sense of adaptability must be there. Organization must be open to new ideas, new people, new technologies, new ways of doing things, new customer insights and all. And if that happens and the organization has the adaptability to change, uh, hopefully the organization will survive and grow. Thank you.